The Eagles just had their best win of the season, shutting down Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase with the help of the Birds' dynamic rookies. Oh, and how about a new weapon emerging for Vic Fangio's already electric defense? Plus, why Saquon Barkley helped reveal the Birds' newfound identity, and why these big changes from Kellen Moore have finally brought back 2022 Jalen Hurts and unlocked the Birds' offense. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. All we heard for the past 2 weeks was, yeah, you won, but come on, it was against the Cleveland Browns, and it was against the New York Giants, and the Eagles' defense will not be this good versus an elite quarterback, and good defenses will definitely have a plan for Saquon Barkley, and, oh, Jalen Hurts, he's a fraud, he's regressed, no way he outduels Joe Burrow. Well, 37 points later, really should have been over 40, but 37 points later, and honestly, who's talking now? So to celebrate, myself and Josh Davis are collaborating for probably our biggest giveaway yet. We're giving away 2 lower-level Section 106 tickets to the Eagles versus Commanders Thursday night incredible matchup that will likely decide the NFC East. Drop a like and let me know in the comment section if you'd actually want these tickets. All you gotta do in order to enter is be subscribed to both my channel and Josh's channel, which will be pinned down below in the pinned comment, and join us for our Eagles-Jaguars live stream next Sunday, where we'll give away those 2 tickets, again, lower-level Section 106 on the Eagles sideline for Eagles versus Commanders. Now, 2 quick stats before we go through this game. First, this defense since the bye week, look at this. First in points allowed, first in yards per game, second in sacks. I mean, these numbers are not just average, they're honestly pretty elite. Oh, can we get 2,000 likes for Jalen Hurts going turnover-free yet again? That's 3 weeks in a row, and literally being 9 for 9, a perfect 150 yards, 3 total touchdowns in the second half. 2022 is starting to murmur, and I think I hear them saying Hurts might officially be back.
I want you to put the word out there that we back up.
Now, the game started with a pretty classic drive from Joe Burrow and company, like dinking and dunking their way right down the field. We're talking about 5 third-down conversions, and then I guess Jamar Chase being covered by Nolan Smith might not be the best idea. Yikes, early touchdown lead for the Bengals. Hurts would then get the offense going on their opening drive with this vintage QB1 scramble here, and then look at this time before going over the middle, yes, to A.J. Brown. Philly would end their opening drive with a field goal. Actually happened in the second quarter because Joe Burrow and the Bengals took so much time off the clock on their opening drive. Meaning technically the Eagles would be scoreless again in the first quarter, but they're the number 2 offense in the entire league quarters 2 through 4, so I guess I'll let it pass this time. Now back on defense, how about Nolan Smith and Milton Williams combining for a sack, giving Nolan now a sack in his last 3 games, and I think the kid is starting to really figure it out. Right after, though, this play might have been able to break the Birds' will, a 3rd and 22 completion. Joe Burrow somehow scrambling away. Cooper DeJean makes the wrong decision to keep the drive alive. Really, the only flaw in the Birds' defense yesterday was 3rd down stops. They were terrible early on in this game on 3rd down. Everything else was great. Fixed the 3rd down conversion percentage, and this defense is absolutely humming. I mean, right here, in the red zone, credit to Darius Slay, a great breakup, saves the touchdown, keeps it a 1-score game. Big play would get hurt later on. We'll talk about that in a second, but really, this was a massive play early on in this game. Now, back on offense, this was probably Hurts' worst throw of the entire day. Cannot do this here. But overall, we must give credit to Jalen Hurts for having nearly a perfect day on offense. 80% completion percentage, down 2 starting offensive linemen, turnover free again. He was money besides that 1 throw. Hurts right now is the only quarterback in the NFL with 9+ touchdowns and 0 picks since week 5. Also, look at the passing chart here. This right here is the best thing to come out of yesterday. The throws across the middle are back, and boy, it was a thing of beauty. Hurts' coach rightfully heaped a ton of praise after the game of the Birds' QB1, and it seems like everyone's acknowledging he might officially be back.
Jalen puts the work in. Like that's something that doesn't get talked about enough for Jalen Hurts. The amount of time, how much he loves football, and how much time he puts into this game. And that's how you want one of your leaders on your team to be, is the time he puts into this game. And so we were able to look at some of the things that we were inefficient on, some of the things that we were good on, and he just put so much work into it. And you're a product of how you practice. And he's been I know you guys only get to see a little portion of practice, but he's been practicing his butt off. I don't know if the ball on Thursday on our long practice, I'm not sure the ball hit the ground. And so that was, it's the work. There is no secret to success, right? It's the habits, it's your work ethic. the same things it took to win this game, and it's going to be the same things it takes next game. Success takes what it takes.
Now back on defense, the Birds would bend but not break again, forcing a 54-yard attempt from Evan McPherson that he would push wide right. And from that point on, honestly, Vic Fangio was in his bag really from the start, but from here on all afternoon. And then maybe the throw of the game here, 3rd and 16, gotta have it, fits the ball right between the two defenders where only AJ could get it. Then another vintage QB1 run would set up another brotherly shove, and he would get in by just a hair. That drive to end the second quarter was a thing of beauty. Took all the time off the clock, 5+ minutes, and you capped it off with a touchdown. Good football team scored to end the first half and scored to start the third quarter, and as we'll see, the Birds did just that. And here's your drive to start quarter number 3, right down the field. Great throws, Saquon Barkley getting more involved, and then Jalen Hurts running again. I mean, we haven't seen him run like this for a very long time. Go ahead, score, and man, I was starting to get some good feelings about this offense. Now, Burrow would answer. This was probably his last final good drive here, finding Jamar Chase on a big first down conversion right in front of Quinyon Mitchell. Although, let's acknowledge Quinyon Mitchell for a second. 1 catch allowed. That was it. That was literally the only catch he allowed. Look at these numbers. Like, Burrow only targeted him twice the entire game. Quarterbacks have already stopped testing this guy, not even halfway through the season, and he's only just a rookie. 3 plays later, though, Chase Brown would run it in for the game-time score, which, again, was a solid drive, but the last time the Bengals would see the end zone for it the entire day. Back on offense, and another perfect throw, another great catch from A.J. Brown to Jalen Hurts, and then maybe the play of the game here as well. Hurts, the time, the deep ball, perfectly dropped in the waiting arms of Devontae Smith. In this play design right here, the time again that Hurts gets, the offensive line was fantastic, and then Jalen Hurts can't throw the deep ball. This is about as good of a deep ball as you can possibly throw. Oh, and Smitty, by the way, fresh off his 1 catch for -2 yards last week, he was absolutely fantastic, and come on, everybody in the world knew Devontae Smith was going to have a big day, including himself and his teammates.
Just going out there doing my job, whether, I get a lot of targets, where I get a few targets, just to go out there and, try to do the best I can to make the most of my opportunities. We knew we was going to get the one-on-one coverage, and Jalen, he trusts me to go up there if it's one-on-one to win a 50-50 ball.
Smitty's not worried about none of that. He's going to come to work. He's going to, make plays when his number's called. Of course, he wanted more than -1 yard -1 yard last week. So when he got the opportunity, he made the most of it. So as expected.
8 clutch catches, not a surprise. I mean, the last time he was shut out in a game, he had 1 for -2. Last week, but the last time he was shut out in a game, he came back and had, I think, like 8 for 176. Like, that's the way the game goes.
Back on defense, and there's 36-year-old BG. Massive stop on 3rd down and 1, setting up a 4th and 1 from the Bengals 39. And who else? Come on. How about Cooper DeJean with the open field tackle of Jamar Chase to come up with the biggest stop of the day on defense? DeJean honestly was fantastic. Again, he should have had an interception early on in this game, but the open field tackling of this kid cannot be overlooked. Like, since taking over the slot, he's making a ton of great tackles and has only allowed just 5 catches on 8 targets for 25 yards. Oh, and listen to him explain exactly what he saw on that 4th down in this media clip here. This kid is insanely smart as well.
Yeah, we were matched up man-to-man. I was matched up with one. As soon as, he went in motion and came back and did a little, bit of dancing around in the backfield, I kind of had a feeling that they were going to try and go to him on that play. And at the end of the day, it's about, me doing my job, making that tackle, stop him.
I keep wanting to give it more time for both Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean because they are so young and it's only been a couple of games, but they look like the steals of the draft. The 1st-round draft pick, the 2nd-round draft pick, Howie Roseman absolutely hit these out of the park. These 2 rookies are playing absolutely out of their mind week after week after week. Back on offense, and we had the shoe series, which was pretty funny because Jalen Hurts lost his shoe, couldn't get it untied, had to wear 2 different cleats, and then also go for this 3rd down and 10 where he had to maintain his composure and at least complete the football to A.J. Brown to get the Birds back into Jake Elliott field goal range, which he would hit. Great play overall, and pretty funny to see 2 different cleats here on QB1. Back on defense, and how about this? There he is, Isaiah Rodgers, thrown in for the injured Slay. Perfect tip drill to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who comes up with the Birds' first turnover in what feels like a very, very long time. I mean, credit to Isaiah Rodgers here, filling in for Slay, not missing a beat. I mean, he is step for step with one of the best receivers in the entire National Football League, blankets Jamar Chase, and also, of course, produces the interception. Nothing short of impressive from the Birds' backup cornerback.
I just stay ready, I just stay ready. I stay warmed up on the sidelines. You just never know when your time will come, so I try to make the most of my opportunities and, You know, I don't try to just wait for my moments to come. I try to go chase them. So.
Have you done that before? Have you ever tried to purposely tip a ball too?
Yeah, it's something you practice. You feel like as a DB, if you can't get two hands on the ball, it might be hard to actually pick it off with one hand, especially going at that angle I was at. So, you know, we practice tips and overthrows. That's one thing we preach in our room.
Isaiah Rodgers playing great man technique. And trusting me to be over there. I told him, like, I always tell my corners, I got you over the top. Like, as you see a couple weeks before, I'm always over there regardless. I'm knocking the ball out of accident. Or just being there for my teammates. I'm always going to be there in the middle of the field coming out. And that's what the team expects from me. Even if the ball is overthrown, tip, just get there so I can make a play on the ball and give my team another chance to win the game.
Is that a tough play? Because it gets tipped to you pretty close.
It's a hell of a play by Zay. Hell of a play by Zay. To be honest with you, he's a great receiver, great matchup. So I just had faith in my guy. I just knew if he wasn't going to get it, nobody was going to get it, or we're going to get it.
Still, though, at this point, fresh off a turnover, 12 minutes left, the Birds needed a drive. They couldn't just punt and give the ball back to Joe Burrow. And who better to turn to than Saquon Barkley? A little quiet early on in this game, but then some massive fourth quarter runs, ate a ton of clock, and helped kind of put the game on ice. I mean, this run right here alone, where it should have just gone for maybe 4 yards on the outside, it's 14 plus, hurtling over a cameraman, and then a second tush-push later, and this thing was virtually over. Saquon Barkley on that drive perfectly encapsulated the Eagles' newfound identity. Tough, waiting your turn, physical, and I think Nick Sirianni, again, post-game, finally revealed what exactly a lot of us have been thinking. This is a tough, smart, and rugged football team.
The identity of this football team is physical, and that's what we're going to try to play by each week is physical. Now, that doesn't, when you say physical, that doesn't mean you have to run it every time. You run it, you pass it. You can be physical in both aspects. On the long touchdown pass to Devontae, Jack Stoll was physical on that block on the perimeter. Wait till you see that one again, where you're watching Jack Stoll block the perimeter and giving Jalen enough time to make a perfect throw and Smitty to make a big time catch. And so, physical identity gets overblown. I really believe that. Like, what's the identity? What's the identity? I tell you, I've told you guys this a bunch. Like, our identity is play with great detail. Our identity is to play physical with toughness, and our identity is play together. And everything else changes week to week.
Back on defense, and how about one final turnover just to put the icing on the cake here? Zack Baun with a punch-out, Nakobe Dean with the recovery. I mean, are we not getting 2022 vibes a little bit right here with this team? I know it's a little early. I know I'm going to read those comments, but look at the excitement, the playmaking. You can't tell me this overall wasn't the Birds' best game in a long time, and that the vibes, again, defense, offense, special teams, everything seems to be clicking on all 5 cylinders.
We've been harping on takeaways. Turnover drills, punching the ball out, getting interceptions. We've been harping on it for us to get a forced fumble. It was definitely big when Zack got the forced fumble and punch out. Something that we worked definitely in the linebacker room like crazy. And we've been trying to see who's going to get the first one, So for him to punch the ball out, and I was excited. I picked up the ball, went to go celebrate. I ran back on the sideline. I wasn't giving it to nobody but him.
Back on offense, final drive here. I really wanted Will Shipley to give us a 40-burger, which, again, stupid, no holding call. I mean, it's ridiculous. But 37-17 Birds over what was a red-hot Bengals team on the road to get their 5th win of the season. Also, shout out to Fred Johnson for absolutely locking down Trey Hendrickson all day long. In for Jordan Mailata, his best game of the year. Just 1 pressure on 13 matches with the Bengals. Best edge rusher is absolutely incredible. They were down 2 offensive linemen all day long and still had 400 yards of offense and moved the ball all over the place. I mean, watch Brian Baldinger break down just how much time Jalen Hurts had throw after throw after throw. It was a masterclass yesterday from the Eagles offensive line. Obviously, the coaching staff as well. This is great stuff.
The Eagles couldn't protect Jalen Hurts any better than they did on Sunday. You watch Lane Johnson out here on Sam Hubbard. All right, Fred Johnson on Trey Hendrickson. Jalen's got time to check his Snapchat before he makes his throw over the middle to a streaking A.J. Brown. Like all day long. 20 dropbacks, he got touched 1 time. Like you watch this now. This is 3rd and 16 now. All right, they're going to chip the edges, but then Lane's fine right here. Fred's fine over there. Inside, it's good. And Lane does his job so that Jalen can get the ball to A.J. Brown. 17 yards on 3rd and 16. Second half, the Bengals went to a 5-man defensive front at times, stopped Jalen from running. It didn't matter. Like you watch Lane over here on Miles Murphy, young player, Fred Johnson over here on Trey Hendrickson, and Jalen has time to make this throw, all right, to Calcaterra. Now, you got to protect first, and then you take your shots. So here you go. You get 3 double teams. You get both tight ends over here. You get Dickerson and Fred Johnson. You get Steen and Juergens, and of course Lane is blocking Sam Hubbard like off the screen over here. You can't protect any better than that. So you take your shot down the field to AJ. Now, you watch this play right here. Watch the run action. This is going to be a fake outside zone right here to Barkley, and Jalen's going to ride it. All right, so you ride it, you glide, and you decide. And when you drop back, you take your shot to Devontae Smith to break this game wide open. Great catch by Devontae. Jalen gave him a chance. It started with protection. And then you just get this. You do not want to give the ball back, all right, to Joe Burrow. So on 3rd and 7, fourth quarter right here, you protect and you get the ball to Devontae. 9 yards and first down. And then backside blocks are as important as frontside blocks. You watch Lane Johnson just cut off right here. Not many guys in their 13th year could do this. Blocking 2. Blocking the defensive tackle, Logan Wilson. Fist up in the air right there. Got this one in the wraps. This is a good win. It's a great win. And Saquon goes for over 100 yards in that 19-yard run right there. That's a good feeling right there. Guys are pretty pumped. Great job up front all day long.
I don't know about you, but this game feels like a turning point in a season, right? We've had some okay wins. I mean, we're obviously at 4 wins going into this game, but none of them were super impressive, except for the Giants, which we all know the Giants aren't that great. To go into Cincinnati, a place you have never won in your franchise's history, against Joe Burrow, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and a red-hot Bengals team, and they didn't just squeak out a win. They didn't just kind of, get lucky. They dominated. They truly dominated. Besides the third down conversions, that was the one problem yesterday. They were great on defense, and they were electric on offense. This Eagle offense is good enough to win a lot of playoff games. This Eagle offense right here is what we've expected for years at this point, right? Going back to the 2023 season, this is exactly what we needed. And if you're not bought back into the Eagles right now, I want to read the comments. I think most of you will be. I'm bought back in. Jalen Hurts feels like he's back. The offense is humming. The defense and Vic Fangio. What an absolutely incredible win from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. Trade deadline, 8 days away. Again, 7 days tomorrow. I think they're going to make a move, especially after the win yesterday. We'll see who that is. Be sure to subscribe. And also, of course, get in on our ticket giveaway. Must be a subscriber for that. I'm Thomas Mott on a Victory Monday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.